Hello and welcome to RT Magazine, a show about Middletown High School, its students, and the community. News about you and for you. I'm Josh Hauser. Make sure to keep watching for brand new content. In this week's episode, Kelly Fernan gives us a preview into this year's fall play. I quiz Halloween enthusiasts on some spooky trivia, and Angelo Ocampo asks MHS students about their past Halloween costumes. This week's show is brought to you by After hours of preparation and rehearsal, the Middletown High School Drama Department is putting on their fall show. Kelly Fernan tells us more about this theater experience.
It's that time of year again where Middletown High School's Drama Department puts together the fall plays for the new school year. But this year is different. This year's production will involve two one-act plays all in one show. One with a comedic twist and the other involving a suspenseful tragedy. It's all very exciting, but right now it's time to take a look behind the curtain to see where it all started.
So auditions this year, since it was just a play, we didn't have to do any singing or dancing. We read some excerpts from various shows that we had the potential of doing. But basically what it was is we had a scene partner, we read some lines with them and played around with our accents, and then the directors just chose who they liked the best and what role.
Rehearsals are going great. It is very fun.
We're starting to really come into our characters, so it's really cool to see everybody get back into it and being able to perform again on the stage is really fun.
It takes a lot of work and sometimes it can get stressful, but when it all comes together, you feel really good about it.
Stuff is kind of picking up really fast. All the cast members are really getting their lines down, getting their characters figured out. We're working on the set right now and it's coming together.
Though doing a play is fun, there's a lot of work that goes into organizing a production.
It's a lot of moving parts, and they are shuffled around like puzzle pieces, and eventually they will all come together at the same time. I always think that casting is the hardest part. Here at Middletown, we have a ton of talent, both with acting and singers and dancers, and to be able to give everybody the best opportunity as possible and put together the best cast as possible is really hard, because it's not often that one person stands out for a particular role. And so there's a lot of discussion that's involved.
So for this show, the hardest thing is we have to switch characters a lot, accents, and change our body language to go with that specific scene.
It depends on character, it depends on time, it depends on all different things, but for me, the hardest part has probably been finding that right character for one of the shows.
Building a show, there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than people usually think. Tech on its own, sound booth, light booth, it takes a lot of people, it takes a lot of hours. Even some sets can take 8+ hours of work with 20+ people.
Making sure you're in the right place at the right time and just remembering everything that you have to do. I love being able to work with everyone and getting so many different personalities and that kind of stuff is really cool. You get to meet a lot of great people and it's just a lot of fun, and the end result is really great. So,
actors are a great community and they all share a talent and a liking to theater, and so to be able to express that with one another is just an awesome experience.
The shows stand out because they are not known, so it's not a show that everybody says, oh yeah, I've seen that before, or I know that story. People don't know these at all, so that's unique, that somebody coming to see them is going to see something brand new.
I think the show is a crazy one this year and it's really fun.
The shows are so much fun.
It's so much fun.
it's a lot of fun.
Because it's fun. I mean, you should always spend some time with live performance because it's just a cultural experience like no other. But really, to support our students and to see all the great work that they did, it's not a long show. So if you are not if you're normally not a theater goer, this might be a good time to break the ice and try out something you haven't done before and give it a go.
The fall plays this year will occur on the weekend before Halloween, Saturday on the 29th and Sunday the 30th, one being a 7 p.m. show and Sunday being a matinee. Hope to see you there.
Welcome to Spooky Scary Trivia, where we test some Halloween fanatics on their favorite holiday. Let's meet our contestants. right. Welcome to the show, Jake and Haley. Let's get started. First question. Where was the first Halloween held?
All right.
Okay.
I said Salem because the Salem witch trials.
And I said Ireland because Europe.
The answer is Ireland. Great job, Haley. Our next question is, what was Halloween's original name?
Okay. I said All Hallows.
I said All Hallows Eve.
Great job. It is now tied 1-1. The answer is All Hallows Eve. The next question is, how many countries celebrated Halloween in 2021?
I don't know. I said 13.
I said 90.
The answer was 28. The score is still tied 1-1.
I don't think there's 90 countries. Maybe there is.
Next question. What was America's most popular Halloween candy in 2021?
Okay. I said Snickers.
I'm not done writing, but I'm saying Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
The answer is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Jake is now up 2-1. The final question is, as of 2022, what is the most popular Halloween candy in the state of Maryland?
Old Bay?
I'm going with Reese's Cups again. Let's go.
I said Hershey's.
The answer is Hershey's Kisses. Well, that means our final score is 2-2. It's a tie. Great job, contestants. That's it for this round of Spooky Scary Trivia. Thanks to Haley and Jake for playing today. So, how well do you know your fellow classmates? Angelo Ocampo puts MHS students on the spot to answer one dire question.
Hey guys, welcome to the Friday question, where every Friday I ask you guys one on-the-spot question. This week, I'm asking you for your best and worst Halloween costumes. Let's go. What is your best and worst Halloween costume?
My worst was probably last year. I was a cow. My best costume was when I was an egg.
What was your best and worst Halloween costume? Okay, he's chewing, y'all. Give him time. What was your best and worst Halloween costume?
My best costume was probably like this intricate fairy costume that I had. I'm pretty sure I went as a ladybug one year, so that was probably my worst.
I'm here with
Satoya Williams.
and
Nicole.
and what are your best and worst Halloween costumes?
I don't have a best, but my worst is a horse basketball player.
My worst was probably the day I dressed up as a cat and I broke the ears, so I was just in a black dress. My best was probably also the cat one. What was your best and worst Halloween costumes of all time?
My best was definitely last year I did Freddy Krueger, and my worst, I would have to say, was I tried going as an avatar.
What's so bad about it? I mean, the makeup is so good.
You know, the blue was not a look.
Okay, what was your best and worst Halloween costume of all time?
My worst was probably a few years back when I dressed up as a black-eyed pea and a black-eyed.
Like Will.I.Am?
Like Will.I.Am. It was horrible. It was so bad. And then probably.
Doubtful.
No, it was bad. No. But my best, probably whole family dressed up in these like M&M costumes. We were all matching. It was so cute.
Like Eminem the rapper, or like M&Ms?
M&Ms.
Who am I here with today?
I'm Mr. Casada, the principal.
And what's your best Halloween costume?
The best Halloween costume
that I can think of is one year, before I had a beard years ago, I went as Dr. Evil, which was good, I thought.
Oh, I like that a lot. Hey, can we ask you guys a question on the spot? Okay, so what are each of your best and worst Halloween costumes?
My best one, I was 9 years old, and I had a Superman costume, and it had like the chiseled abs, the whole cape thing. That was the best ever, and that set the tone. My worst, I was thrown under the bus. Okay, I didn't realize we had like a theme to this costume party, so I rolled in there with the wig looking like Roger Federer, but it was like a Marvel theme. So I was in like booty shorts, in a wig. So completely irrelevant.
So, all right, and then Miss Thompson.
Hey, so my best costume had to be last year when I was President Loki. That was spot on.
That was good. I remember that.
Yes, and I would just point out that I got the majority of that costume for the Goodwill for like $7. I only had to order the horns online. That was amazing. The worst costume from the 80s, we had these horrible costumes when we were kids. It was basically like a plastic smock thing you put on and a plastic mask. And so I think one year I was like Raggedy Ann. So I had the plastic over my face and the smock, and we wore it to school because we were allowed to have Halloween parties back then. But
can't do that in this political climate.
Yes.
Fan takeover. I'm Helen Bartman. Parker Shipe, what were your best and worst Halloween costumes?
My worst was a pea. I was a pea, and then my best, it's gonna be Jeffrey Dahmer. This Halloween.
Who am I here with?
Ryan McClister.
And what was your worst and your best Halloween costume?
My worst costume was probably when my dad made a at-home Batman costume.
Okay.
And my best one was probably a Minion.
Love, thank you. Who am I here with?
Liz Lashley.
And what are your best and worst Halloween costumes?
I think my worst is probably a couple years ago. I was Rapunzel, and my mom pulled that thing where she was like, you have to wear a white turtleneck underneath because it's cold outside. And I also had a really bad blonde wig.
Right. And your best?
I think this year's is my best.
Can we get a reveal, or are we waiting for the Halloween post?
Let's wait for the Halloween post.
Okay. Surprise. Right, who am I here with?
Probably I can.
And what was your best and worst Halloween costume?
My best was probably like Scream. My worst one, it's like Optimus Prime or something.
That's it for the Friday question. I'm Angela Ocampo. Thank you so much for your answers. I'll see you next week.
That's it for this episode of RT Magazine, part of the Roundtable's multimedia experience. Thanks for watching. You can find all our episodes on mhsroundtable.com, or you can download our app, Student News Source, for access to our articles, videos, and podcasts. Have a great week. Make sure to stay tuned for this week's SEL lesson.
This week's SEL lesson is on stress management. Morgan's Message shares the ways they deal with stress.
Morgan's Message is all about bringing awareness to student athletes and their mental health.
This is how Morgan's Message deals with stress.
I deal with my stress by getting more sleep.
I deal with stress by playing lacrosse.
The best way I like to deal with stress is by praying about it.
I deal with stress by sleeping and sometimes Zumba.
I deal with stress by reading.
I deal with stress by exercising.
I deal with stress by exercising and talking to my friends.
How do you positively deal with stress?